So there was two that I posed to Neil. One which is a fairly straightforward one, which is who's your top transfer target this summer. The second one of which is this. So this has no bearing on incomings at all. But if you get rid of one player to make the Liverpool squad neater next season, and the reason I say neater is so that it's not necessarily better. It just means you can imagine it a bit more when you have all the incomings. So I want your top transfer target and the one player you get rid of to make the squad neater.
Oh my goodness me. Does it matter which order we go in? Because So I have a couple of top transfer targets, but it depends upon which position we're talking about.
It's entirely up to you which way you go with it. As I say, the neater outgoing doesn't have to have any bearing on incomings, but obviously you're picking your top incoming as well, so they can have a bearing on each other.
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to be boring to a certain extent. Anybody who's heard me talk about transfers has heard me talk about Alvaro Carreras. I still think that he's the best option to Liverpool to buy as a left back. He plays for Benfica at the moment. Fantastic going forward, but also very strong defensively. I still think that we can get him. He's technically, Manchester United have got an option on him, but they just bought Patrick Dorgu, so I'm not sure that they're going to take that option. I think he's a very good player. I think at the moment he's probably going to end up at Real Madrid next summer, and everyone's going to be like, weren't we interested in him? And I'm like, yes, we were. Okay, so him. But I also want to give shouts out to the most obvious, Alexander Isak, because it would be transformative to get him for two reasons: not just making Liverpool better, but making Newcastle worse. And also Angelo Stiller plays for Stuttgart. I think he has allayed some of my fears about his physicality over the course of the season. I think he's a very good footballer. I think he would give Grav the kind of rest that he needs. I think he can also play in one of the more advanced positions. If, for example, Stefan Bajcetic wins a chance to get more involved next year, then we've still got him as an option to do other things. In terms of who am I removing,
it almost depends which one of those you want to pick, because there's a couple of different positions in there.
I mean, to me, the argument is that, again, if you're talking about making it neat, then the obvious answer is Kelleher, because we're not going to have three keepers next season who all want to play first team football. But the reality is, it has to be one of the forwards, doesn't it? I think if we're absolutely going to need to buy a new striking option or a new forward option, and I mean, the obvious one is Núñez, really, because then that means that you can still have Jota knocking around, buy someone to be maybe the main starter, and then have Jota when he's available. But I personally think in terms of outgoings, a lot is going to depend upon who is desirable to other teams, what bids come in at what level. Because I think there's a few areas where the club might say, well, if we get a good bid for him, then we keep him, and vice versa.
What are you saying, Andy? You had a bit of time to think about it now.
Yeah, I have, thank goodness, because I had no idea what I was going to say when you initially posed me the question. I think Mo's spot on, first of all, with the last thing that he says, which is, you think back to a couple of summers ago when we probably don't anticipate losing Fabinho and Henderson, but the big bids come in. Well, in the case of Fabinho, the big bid comes in, and then all of a sudden we're forced into a complete rebuild of the midfield when maybe the plan before the summer was only to sign 2 or 3. We ended up signing 4, and 3 of whom are very much our starting midfield this season. So I think it will depend on that. I'm going to be quite boring in both my answers here. So my number one transfer target is Isak. I think we just need a big refresh of that forward line. I think everyone, including Salah at this point, is doing everyone's heads in. I'm not saying sell Salah, of course I'm not, but it just needs to be something a little bit different. We need to see something a little bit different. We need pace in that front line. We were actually talking last night about pace in the team and how when Conor Bradley came on against Fulham, that actually was the pace that we needed. And that's bizarre coming from your sort of 21-year-old second choice right back. Very good chance he'll be first choice next season, obviously. And, Diaz isn't as explosive anymore. Salah's not as explosive anymore. Jota isn't as explosive anymore post-injuries. Gakpo's quick over sort of 10, 20 yards, but isn't going to be the sort of type of guy that you put a ball over the top and Gakpo's going to sprint onto. Núñez, again, seems like he's lost a bit of pace. I don't know whether that's just confidence or he's not timing his runs as well. But anyway, we need some speed in that front line, because teams, I think, have realised recently that if you play Liverpool on the halfway line, you can really squeeze the game, and they don't have that option to sort of punt it in behind like we did. Sort of, you remember back to peak Mane and Salah, that Roma game at home, where it was just every single time it was over the top. People were accused of playing terrible football, but they were that naive that we were able to do that. We've lost that knack of being able to do that at the moment, and I think we need to gain it back. And Isak's obviously a very quick player. He's got everything. The only concern is the injuries. And when I sort of think about the other exciting options that we've been linked with, Julian Alvarez I think is a fantastic player, but Atletico Madrid signed him for 80 million last summer, so you're not getting him for at least 100, probably more. You were saying last night you're not convinced about how quick he is. You know, he's sort of can be a number 10 option. He can fill that gap. He can play up front as well. I would like us to sign him. And then the other one's Ekitike, who I've not really heard anything about, but doesn't have quite that track record. I think he's had a good season this year, but he doesn't have sort of, you know, there's not a significant body of evidence that he can come in and be Liverpool's number one striking target. So I think the boring but obvious answer is Alexander Isak. And then in order to make it a little bit neater, sort of going like for like in positional terms only, nothing else, is you'll be shocked to hear I would get rid of Darwin Núñez. I think at this point, as much as anything else, just the market value. Yeah. You know, last summer they're talking about 70 million odd. He's not that different a player this year to what he was last year. He still misses loads of chances. He still causes a bit of chaos. He's still going to be a big name going to Saudi Arabia if he goes there. He'll still be an exciting signing for whoever they get. And listen, you never know. He might reinvigorate himself to find that Benfica form.